The most impactful decision you will ever make, hi guys, good evening. Have a nice day. There comes a moment in every person's life when everything changes. Not because the world changes, but because you do. One decision, one moment, one choice can redirect the entire course of your destiny. The most impactful decision you will ever make is not about what you do, but about who you decide to become. Most people go through life waiting for circumstances to improve, waiting for luck, waiting for someone to save them. But life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by change. And change begins the moment you decide. That moment when you say, enough, I'm done living this way. I'm going to become more, give more, love more, live more. That's when your life begins to transform. You see, it's not the conditions of your life that shape your future, it's your decisions. Every decision you've ever made has led you to this moment. Every thought, every action, every belief has carved the path you're walking. And the beauty is, at any moment you can make a new decision and change your life forever. The problem is, most people never decide with certainty. They wish, they hope, they try. But trying is not deciding. Wishing is not commitment. Decision is power. Decision means cutting off every other possibility and saying, this is who I am now. This is what I stand for. This is the direction of my life. When you decide to raise your standards, your life begins to rise with them. Everything you tolerate becomes the ceiling of your potential. When you decide you deserve more, not in arrogance, but in awareness of your worth, life responds. The world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you demand through your decisions and your actions. I remember a time when I had nothing. I was broke, living in a tiny apartment, washing my dishes in the bathtub because the sink didn't work. I had every excuse to give up. But one night I made a decision. I decided that I was done being broke, done feeling powerless, done waiting for someone to fix my life. And from that night forward, I lived differently. I worked differently. I thought differently. That one decision didn't change my environment instantly, but it changed my energy, and that changed everything. It's not your conditions that shape you, it's your decisions. And the most powerful decision you can ever make is to take control of your mind, because your mind is either your greatest ally or your greatest enemy. It will tell you you're not enough. It will whisper fear. It will replay every failure you've ever had. But when you decide to master your mind, not let fear run your life, you begin to access your true potential. You can't control what happens to you, but you can always control what it means to you. The meaning you give to every event determines the quality of your life. You can make pain mean punishment, or you can make it mean progress. You can make failure mean defeat, or you can make it mean direction. The choice is always yours. Purpose gives pain a reason to exist. When you have a reason bigger than your excuses, you will find a way. When you live only for yourself, your problems seem massive. But when you live for something greater, to serve, to contribute, to grow, your problems shrink. Purpose doesn't take away pain, it transforms it into fuel. You must decide what your purpose is, not what society tells you, not what people expect, but what your soul demands. What makes you come alive? What could you give your life to that would make every struggle worth it? That's your purpose. Every breakthrough in life comes from a decision to embrace pain instead of avoiding it. Growth is never comfortable. Muscles grow through resistance. Minds grow through challenge. Hearts grow through struggle. Stop running from pain. Start running toward growth. Because pain is temporary, but the strength it gives you is forever. So many people wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect time. But perfection is the enemy of progress. The people who achieve extraordinary things are not the ones who never fail. They're the ones who decide to act despite fear. Faith is not the absence of fear. It's the decision to move forward even when fear is screaming in your ear. Fear is imagination used against you. It's a story your mind tells you to keep you safe. But safety and fulfillment are opposites. The more you chase safety, the smaller your life becomes. The more you chase growth, the more alive you feel. Choose faith over fear. Decide that uncertainty is your playground. The people you surround yourself with will either stretch you or shrink you. Energy is contagious. If you spend time with people who complain, you'll start to believe life is unfair. But if you surround yourself with people who are driven, who push you, who celebrate your success, you'll rise. Choose your tribe wisely. Your environment must reflect your destiny. And remember this, the secret to living is giving. The happiest people are not the ones who get the most, but the ones who give the most. When you contribute beyond yourself, you tap into an unlimited source of joy and meaning. You realize you are here for a reason, to make an impact, to lift others, to be a force for good. You don't need $1 million to give. You can give your time, your love, your attention, your encouragement. Every day, you have the power to make someone's life better. That decision will make your own life richer than you ever imagined. Gratitude is the key that unlocks abundance. You can't be fearful and grateful at the same time. Gratitude turns what you have into enough and more. Even in your darkest moments, there's something to appreciate. The lesson, the strength, the growth, when you decide to live in gratitude, life gives you more to be grateful for. Your energy introduces you before you speak. Live with gratitude, and people will feel it. Live with anger, and they'll feel that too. Every day, you're radiating either love or fear. Decide to radiate love. Decide to live in a beautiful state, no matter what happens. Because when you control your state, you control your world. The most impactful decision you will ever make is to be fully alive, to stop existing and start living, to wake up every morning with intention, to stop waiting for the perfect day, and make today the day you start living your purpose. Life is not about what happens to you, it's about what you decide it means. You were born with potential beyond anything you've experienced. There's a fire inside you waiting to ignite, a strength that's been sleeping beneath the surface, waiting for your decision to awaken it. This moment, right now, could be that decision. The decision to let go of your past, the decision to forgive yourself, the decision to believe again, the decision to live boldly, love deeply, and give freely. You don't need permission to create a beautiful life. You don't need anyone's approval to become who you're meant to be. All you need is the courage to decide. So decide today to raise your standards, to master your mind, to live with purpose, to embrace pain, to walk by faith, to surround yourself with greatness, to give without expectation, to live in gratitude, and to be fully alive. You already have the power. You already have what it takes. You just need to decide, because your destiny is waiting on the other side of your decision. Don't wait for someday. Don't wait for someone. Don't wait for a sign. This is your sign. This is your time. This is your moment. Decide to live the life you were created for. Decide to rise. Decide to become unstoppable, because the most impactful decision you will ever make is the one you make right now. You see, once you decide, the world begins to shift. People call it luck. They call it coincidence, but it's not luck. It's alignment. When you finally decide what you truly want, you start noticing opportunities you were blind to before. You start attracting people, situations, and ideas that match your new level of commitment. Life meets you at the level of your decision, not your desire. Every dream begins with a decision. Every empire, every relationship, every transformation began when someone said, "I will not live this way anymore." But remember, decision without action is delusion. It's not enough to decide. You must act as if your decision is already reality. Because when your actions follow your decisions, momentum begins. Momentum is the invisible force that separates the winners from the wishers. Once you create momentum, it's hard to stop. But if you lose it, it's hard to start again. The secret is to take small, consistent actions every single day that reinforce your decision. Don't wait for motivation. Create it through motion. When you move, your energy changes. When you sit still in fear or doubt, your energy stagnates. You can't think your way into confidence. You must act your way into it. Every time you act despite fear, you grow stronger. Every time you hesitate, you strengthen your fear. Decision becomes power only when it's backed by movement. Ask yourself right now, what's one area of your life you've been avoiding deciding on? Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your relationship. Maybe it's that dream you keep postponing because you're afraid of failing. Decide right now to face it. Because what you don't face, you cannot fix. When I talk to people who feel stuck, I always ask, what are you tolerating? Because life gives us exactly what we tolerate. If you tolerate being tired, you'll stay tired. If you tolerate being broke, you'll stay broke. If you tolerate a relationship without love, you'll live without passion. But when you decide to stop tolerating mediocrity, your life will start to expand. People say, I want change, but they don't want to feel the discomfort that comes with change. You can't transform your life while staying comfortable. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. Growth and comfort do not coexist. Every time you feel discomfort, it means you're expanding beyond your limits. Celebrate it. That's the feeling of transformation. The most impactful decision you'll ever make is to live from your higher self instead of your lower self. Your lower self reacts, it blames, complains, judges. Your higher self responds, it creates, learns, forgives, grows. Every moment gives you a choice to react as your past self or respond as your best self. Every time you choose the higher version, you evolve. You were not born to live an average life. You were not created to simply pay bills and die. You were made to grow, to expand, to contribute, to experience the full range of what life can offer. The tragedy is not that people die. It's that so many die before they ever truly live. Don't let that be your story. Decide to live fully, fiercely, fearlessly. Some people ask me, Tony, how do I know I'm making the right decision? You'll know because the right decision won't always feel easy, but it will feel honest. It might scare you, but it will also excite you. Your intuition speaks in whispers, not fear, but truth. When your decision aligns with your soul, you'll feel a sense of peace, even in the chaos. Every great life is built on risk. You can't play it safe and expect extraordinary results. The person who risks nothing gains nothing. You risk love and you might get hurt. You risk speaking your truth and you might be rejected. But you also might be freed. You might inspire someone else. You might start a revolution within yourself. And what's the alternative? To play small, to live in fear, to die wondering what could have been? No, decide to live boldly. Because regret weighs more than failure ever will. Failure is feedback, regret is poison. Failure tells you what to adjust, regret tells you what you missed. Fail fast, learn fast, rise faster. There's a difference between making a decision and making a true commitment. Most people make conditional decisions. They say, I'll do it if it's easy, if it's convenient, if it works fast. But commitment means doing it no matter what. When you're truly committed, you stop looking for excuses and start finding solutions. That's the moment you cross from wishing into achieving. In life, there will always be challenges. But understand this, problems are gifts. Without them, you wouldn't grow. If you're facing challenges, it means you're playing the game of life at a higher level. Don't pray for fewer problems, pray for more skills. Every time you solve one problem, you earn the strength for the next. That's how warriors are made. Sometimes your biggest problem is the story you tell yourself. I can't because, that's too late because, I'm not ready because, that story becomes your prison. But the moment you tell a new story, you get a new life. Instead of saying, I'm broken, say, I'm rebuilding. Instead of saying, I failed, say, I learned. Instead of saying, I can't, say, I will. The words you attach to your experience become your reality. There's immense power in deciding to forgive. Forgiveness is not for the person who hurt you, it's for you. Because holding on to anger is like drinking poison and hoping the other person suffers. When you forgive, you free yourself from the weight of the past. You can't step into your future while dragging your pain behind you. Let it go. Decide that your peace matters more than your pride. Every single day, life asks you a question. Who are you becoming? Your actions answer that question. You can't lie to yourself through words, only through behavior. Every decision you make is a vote for the person you're becoming. Make your votes count. Because your habits are your destiny in slow motion. Discipline is the bridge between decision and destiny. Everyone wants success, but few are willing to commit to the habits that create it. Decision gives birth to possibility, but discipline brings it to life. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build trust. Every time you break one, you destroy it. Keep showing up, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. And never forget, joy is a decision too. You don't need a perfect life to feel grateful. You just need to decide to focus on what's right instead of what's wrong. Happiness is not found in the future, it's created in the present. If you can't be happy now, you won't be happy when you have more, because happiness is not about having, it's about appreciating. There's power in deciding to slow down and reconnect with yourself. In this world of constant noise, the real wisdom comes in stillness. Silence is not empty, it's full of answers. Take time to listen to your heart, because the most important conversation you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. When you decide to trust life, everything changes. You stop forcing and start flowing. You stop worrying and start creating. Life is not happening against you, it's happening for you. Every challenge, every delay, every disappointment is a divine redirection. Trust that you're being guided to something greater. Make the decision to love without fear, to give even when you don't get, to speak your truth even when your voice shakes. Love is not weakness, it's the highest form of strength. When you live with love, you live with power, because love expands what fear contracts. Remember this, your past does not equal your future. You can decide today to become something completely new. Every saint had a past, every sinner has a future. You are not defined by what you did, you're defined by what you decide to do now. Life is short, my friend. Time is the only currency you can't get back. Don't spend it living someone else's dream. Don't spend it trying to impress people who don't even notice you. Spend it building something that matters, something that makes your soul come alive. The clock is ticking, but it's not too late. You can still choose to live differently. You can still choose to love deeply, to give generously, to grow endlessly. Right now, there's a version of you that you've never met. Stronger, wiser, more powerful, more loving. That version is waiting on the other side of your decision. You're not waiting for the right time. The right time is waiting for you to decide. Every mountain you face was designed to show you how high you can climb. Every storm you go through was meant to reveal the strength inside you. Nothing in life is wasted when you decide to learn from it. Every experience, good or bad, becomes a stepping stone toward your greatness. So decide to rise every time you fall. Decide to believe even when you don't see. Decide to give more than you take. Decide to be the example, not the excuse. Decide to live with passion, with power, with purpose, because your decision is the seed of your destiny. Right now, as you hear these words, you have the power to begin again. You don't need anyone's approval. You don't need to wait for confidence. You just need to decide and act. Because when you do, the universe rearranges itself to honor your courage. Don't die with your music still inside you. Don't let your potential go unexpressed. The world needs your fire, your story, your strength. Someone out there is waiting for the version of you that only appears when you decide to step forward. This is your moment. Don't waste it. Decide to become the kind of person who lives fully, gives freely, and never looks back with regret. The power is in your hands right now, in this moment. Decide, and everything changes.